What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my studio. I'm a day late, but you're still you. Okay, so we're gonna get into this little graffiti wall thing, and I apologize right now if everything goes kaput, because at 8 o'clock this morning, a car and a SUV decided to smash into each other on the corner right outside of my house, and wreck a telephone pole. And there's a truck out there right now with a pole on it, so they could be replacing that telephone pole while I'm doing this, and I don't know if that'll affect my internet or power. So hopefully not, but we'll see what happens. Thank you, Nick Edgar, for the audio video check. Good to know. Am I too loud? Am I too quiet? I'm on the opposite side of the studio today, so the mic faces a different direction, sort of. So, okay, let's get into this. And none of my stuff is set up where I need it to be. So, that's a problem. Let me grab this, move this closer. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do on this, I'm pretty sure it's not the easiest thing to see. I tried to get some lighting in the back to kind of highlight the sketch, but it's very hard to see. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to take my airbrush and just a tiny bit of black paint, and hopefully not ruin this. Got a little bit of black paint in there. Put my cap on. Make sure there's some in the system. Now I have this little stencil I made because I want to try and add just a bit of a drop shadow to it before I get started. So I should have something to test this on, and I don't. Hold on one second. Let me grab a paper towel. That ought to work. I know I'm blocking everything. I'm trying to do it very lightly. I'm blocking my own light, so I can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, not bad. I can clean some of that up, I hope. Pull some of that away. Okay, good. Just right. Good. Thank you, George Pencil Art, for letting me know sound is good. Nick, too. Yeah, first the hurricane, now people who can't drive. Wow, that already looks pretty good on the screen. Okay, so I'm going to need some white because this is going to be super absorbent because it's concrete and plaster. So there's a pretty good chance that everything is going to soak right into the plaster. So I'm going to try and do the parts that'll be the color, I guess I would say, in white first. And then I'll worry about putting the color on top of that as I go. Yeah, this is sucking up all the water like almost immediately. So I don't know how good the visual is on this. And also, I know how I would approach this with some cans of spray paint, but approaching this with paint and brushes is a little different because like I would base it out in whatever the background color. That's what I would sketch it out in. And you can't I don't think I can really do that here. Or at least not the same way. So forgive me if I pause every now and then and stop to think. And I'm trying to keep the paint a little thin, but not too much that it gets too wet. Because I'm also afraid of the water being absorbed, kind of wrecking the plaster. Like if too much water absorbs into it, it's going to soften, and I really don't want that to happen. But I also don't want the paint to be too thick that it takes a long time to dry, if that makes sense. I'm already messing it up. All right. Like I said, it's hard to see these lines even for me, so. I'm just going to do the best I can. And hopefully I'll be able to, patch this up as I go. Because these lines aren't going to be perfectly straight. I'm just basing in this white so that I have the area to color over. Because I also don't know if what am I trying to say here? I don't know if the white, I don't know if the plaster is going to darken the colors. Right now it's not doing too bad with the white. It is coming out a little bit gray, but not too bad. And I'm basically putting the white on to seal it, so that when I do the color, when I do the color, it'll have something to adhere to and not get soaked up. These engraved lines are not making it easy either. Let's see, who am I missing here? Hi, Tara. Thank you for joining. Hi, Alicia. Ah, you made one. Cool. Is it because it's Tuesday? Or is that the reason you're able to make it? Bird drama, huh, Clark? Always with the bird drama. Wow, I can't see that at all. That line is practically not even there. Don't get any paint in there. I think the hard part of this is going to be getting the paint into those engraved lines that I made, because, you know, spray paint will just fill everything it hits. Brushed on paint, not so much. Not unless it's too thick. And we definitely don't want too thick. And the reason I want to seal it first is because if the color absorbs, or the water in the paint I'm using to do the main color layer absorbs into the plaster and concrete, it's gonna be hard to blend. And because I have a decent 3D effect on this, it's going to require quite a bit of light shading. Trying to get some paint in the cracks here. Oh, that sounds pretty cool, Nick. Wish I could have been there. I don't go into Manhattan that much anymore. Only if my cousin needs help with something. Because he lives in Harlem. Sorry, trying to figure out where my lines are. I think that's most of the J done. I really should have my reference picture up better. Oh, there it is. Okay. And this crack is also going to make things quite hard to see. If you watched my little prep video, then you'll know that the the crack was unintentional. Aha. 3 p.m. and you're awake for the night. Gotcha. Leisha. Leisha said that. Sorry. Uh. Oh, Nick, I fully agree. I need absolute silence. I don't know how people can do art with anything playing. It's like it pulls me out of it. You know, I'll start listening more to the music than I am doing what I'm doing. Maybe that's just me though. I'm just gonna block this whole area in the white because I can't actually see where the piece of the Z goes. I'll have to do that by eye when I get there. Get some paint down in this crack. George, yes, George. There in there is a video linked in the description of what I'm doing, and it is a block of plaster. It's about a little over a quarter-inch thick. It's 9 inches wide by 5 inches high. It did break in half. Uh, put that back in place. And then there is this plaster block, which, ooh, lighting. I don't know if you can see. I kind of carved it to try and make it look like draped cloth. I don't know. I'm going the wrong way. It's hard to see. This will eventually get painted. And the block will stand on top of that like this. So it looks like, just like a cement wall on top of a big concrete block draped in fabric. And I only did the draped in fabric thing because the mold I made, I lined it with plastic, and as it got hot, the plastic kind of wrinkled up and put some wrinkles into the mold before it was even set. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, that's way off. How did I get it so far off? There we go. The hard part is getting the paint into these grooves and dots and things from the glue. Glue worked amazingly, though. I've never tried to glue cement before, or plaster, but it definitely connected everything pretty darn good. This stuff does not want to spread very easily. It's like as soon as I touch it, it starts to dry out. And I am having a little trouble seeing what it is I'm exactly doing. Clearly, I did not plan this out well. I had thought about doing this entirely with the airbrush, but I don't think I have that kind of control. Ugh, 8 hour drive. That's not cool. It's a good thing I plan on fixing that arrow with the outline. You know, graffiti is generally done back to front, so I'm trying to do it that way, but not exactly easy. Especially since I engraved all these lines into it and made it difficult on myself. Ooh, these grooves are driving me crazy. Maybe I should have waited, done the grooves afterwards. Oh, that's too thin there. But again, this is just to seal it. So we're getting there. And this little project is purely just for me. I don't know if I said that already. It could be that way, Nick. Maybe they do understand us, but we just don't understand them. That is a possibility. If I accidentally pull this thing off the screen, let me know. Because I keep moving it so that I can see my own lines. Yeah. I hope so, Nick. I hope it really gets a good pop once the all the color starts going in. Because like I said, this is not the color it's going to be. It's going to be more of a yellow orange fade, I hope. It all depends on how well this seals itself. Because if I can't blend on top of it, it's not going to work the way I want it to. Switch to a tinier brush for a minute. That shape looks a little off. I'm looking for anything I may have missed. Okay, we'll let that dry for a second. See what's going on. A little bit of self-indulgence never hurt anybody. I think you're wrong, Nick. I think some self-indulgence has hurt many people. And I don't know how I missed that the first time. I saw the comment after that, but the one where I was tagged, I didn't see. Yes, Nick is correct. My moniker of Dead Jester is this the tag I write the tag I write now is Jester without the E's in it, basically. JZTR. Um, yeah. So, back in the day, I did do a little graffiti. Um, I will not say the name I used because in New York they have laws where they photograph every piece of graffiti they come across, and if you ever get caught making graffiti and they can tie you to that name, well, then you have to pay for all the damages. So, yeah, I'm not letting that one out of the bag. This is what I do for fun now, just when I want to do stuff here and there. I'd use the blow dryer, but it's on the other side of the room. Yeah, which is only right here, but still. And if anyone wants to know, the Dead Jester was my original first online name, I guess you would say, that started way back on MySpace. Um, I had an employer who did not, or I should say, hold on, I'm making sure my airbrush is clean. Okay, or cleaner. Um, I had an employer who was going through everyone's social medias. I can't even say that. It was MySpace. That was all there was at the time. But I had an employer that was going through all of that, and people were getting laid off and fired because of stuff they said online. So I quickly changed my name from me to a nickname I had from friends, and it stayed that way until what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, somewhere around there. And it was basically Lisa calling me Joseph all the time that made me finally go back to my real name. Shauna said, Shauna or Shayna, let me know. Uh, Said, just joined. Why did you do graffiti? Because it was fun. I like the I like the art style of it. Growing up in New York, I saw a lot of it, especially in the '70s and early '80s. Before they started coating all the trains and that stuff that you know makes it so that spray paint doesn't stick to it. But yeah, graffiti's been everywhere my whole life living in New York. So I don't, I should say, I followed the rules of graffiti, and yes, there are rules. Most people probably don't think there are. People who break the rules are called toys because they're acting like children playing with their toys. Um, the main rules, there's three of them, is you don't paint on places of worship, schools, or private property. Public property only. So, graffiti started as people did billboards and advertisements and stuff where, like if you went to a train station, there'd be these giant signs and you no longer had a good view. So people started saying, well, what gives you the right to take away my view and put ads in the way? I'm going to cover that up with something that looks better than an ad. Yeah? I mean, that's how the art style of it started. The tagging side is just people wanting to, this is my name, this is who I am, blah, blah, blah. That started way, way back in history. They found graffiti in Pompeii, in the volcanic ash. So graffiti has lasted and been around for a long time. And I just realized I forgot my cup. So yeah. Anyway. Okay. That feels dry. Okay. Wait. There's an R in it? Where the heck does the R sound come from? That one I don't get at all. Sorry to say, but yeah, that's a bit odd to me. So it's a Sharna? Hey, I think I can remember that. Time to find out if we can do this. Still not blending great, but it's not terrible. Can't see where my water level is. This may end up needing more than one coat. And I'm not trying to be super precise with it. Hope this is showing up well. Not really. Well, when I tilt it, it looks pretty good. Maybe I should try and find something to put under it. I got nothing. Never mind. These pieces only need like a tiny highlight of the orange. You know, getting blends with a spray paint can is actually kind of easy because you just angle the can and do like a dust coating. But this, not so much. Just trying to get a nice solid fill in here. Like I said, probably a couple of coats are going to be needed. That arrow is going to definitely need a lot of work. being right on the grooves like that, the etched lines. Thanks, Nick. I was originally going to go with just the YouTube colors, but while I was playing around with it, I definitely decided I like the orange fade better. Be going over some of this a little too early because I'm picking up a little paint as I'm putting it down. So I'm trying to almost dry brush it. Trying to get a little bit of a smooth blend there. Not really working, but it was worth a shot. No, Clark, I do not like surprise visitors. If you show up at my house unannounced, you're leaving. Or at least there's a good chance you're leaving. I'm sure I have a couple of friends who could talk me into letting them stay. Ah, well, that was dangerous. I'll have to clean that up in a second. Paper towel. Okay, now we're going to darken this a bit. Not too much yet. Hopefully. I'm off screen again. Sorry. Smooth some of this out. It's not covering as well as I would like, but this orange is a bit transparent. So hand's getting a little tired holding it. but I know it's easier to see if it's on the angle, so. You do need your fingers to paint. That was a good response, Clark. But then again, I'm one of those people who, on a regular basis, puts my fingers in jeopardy. I mean, when I painted the trellis, or painted, when I made the trellis from my grapes out of an old futon, I spent a couple of hours cutting pieces of wood to shape, and one of these days I'm going to lose a finger because I am not careful. I know I should be. I'm just not. Thankfully, the outline will be done in black, so it's going to cover up a lot of these little edge mistakes that I'm making. It's going to be a hard angle to get, so. Second. We're getting there. And this may end up taking longer than I expected, which is par for the course for me. I always seem to underestimate how much time I'm going to take to do something. And I think it's the talking. I'm not used to talking while I draw and do stuff, so I take more or less time based on that. So, yeah, one of these days I'll figure it out. Anything I missed? Yep, Clark, growing up a poor artist. You grow up a poor artist and you learn to make a lot of stuff. So, yeah, I've been upcycling stuff my entire life. One man's garbage, as they say. Okay. Or one man's trash. Whichever way you want to say it. That barely looks darker at all. But it is supposed to be darker. Well, when you get enough paint on there, it gets darker. Not smooth, though. Definitely going to need multiple coats of this to get it to the right shade. Hue, value, I don't know. Yeah, I'm very talkative. That's why I'm thinking of changing the the genre of my videos from how to horror, because I apparently keep scaring the hell out of people. Yeah, this is definitely going to take multiple coats to get it to this. Oh, not what I wanted to do. To get it to the color I want it to be. And so far, I still have power and internet, so that's good. I can actually, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can actually hear the drill machine that they're using to make the hole for the new telephone pole going in. It's like brrr, chunk, 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 chunk. And yes, that is a new song by me. Grr, chunk, 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 chunk. Copyright Joseph Finchum. Just trying to make this fade a little bit better. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do an entire coat over the whole thing again because it is fading into the plaster a lot. But it's definitely getting there. And you can see it's falling apart as well. Oof. Why not reuse it, right, Clark? It'd be more of like a watercolor brush too, though, because the hair is very, very fine. Although I I have been known to save whiskers because cats lose their whiskers just like they lose any other hair. And they stand out, and they're very thick with a pointy little end. And every time I find one, I just drop it in this little, like, jar thing I have. Why? I don't know. Okay, let's see if we can get some straight, thick paint on here. Oh yeah, that's better. Definitely gonna have to do this section one more time. Here's a different color. Washing some of that color out. See if I can mix this back up to the same color I had, because it's a mixture of the two. Good. Close enough. Yes, yes, Angela, I am saving up to make a nice whisker liner. I think that's what they would be best for. I don't know how absorbent whiskers are, though. So it may not hold a lot of paint. And I do actually remember the original reason why I started saving them, and that's because I was making these little like tiny sculpey like clay cat things of them like playing with yarn and stuff and like that. And I had this idea of putting real whiskers on them so that they had like, because they if it was this big and the head was this big, the whiskers would be like super extra long, you know. And I thought that would be cool, but I've never actually done it. Mhm. And these grooves are the bane of my existence. I kind of had a feeling it was going to be a bad idea to put them on there, but I did it anyway, and I was right. I'm not saying it's not working. It's definitely working. Oh, that was a bit of a mistake. That's looking really saturated now. It's hard to tell there's even any differentiation in that color. But there is. Clean this off a bit. Too much dark paint. I think I'll at least get all of the color fill done today. I knew this was going to be a two-parter, but it may end up being a three-parter. Because the second part is going to be distressing it so that it looks old and weathered, like it's been there forever. Or at least that's the goal. It probably looks way better here on the screen than it does here. The like streakiness of it, because it's not covering well on each layer, isn't showing up on camera at all. But it's getting closer to what I see in my head anyway. Which is always a good thing. Almost solid. A little too soon on that spot. Try it one more time. A little more paint on it. There we go. Touch up that spot. Cool, cool. I think that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it for today. Because my hand is killing me. Yeah. Yes, Leisha. That is kind of the idea, I guess. I mean, maybe one day I'll take an old brush, pull all the hair out, you know, clamp the fuller around it, make my own itty bitty liner brush. Okay, Sharna. I guess your brother can't cook, huh? So yeah, okay. I didn't do these little spots, but they're going to be since they're all the way down low, they're going to be just a tiny bit darker than the orange I have here, and I didn't pull out the right red, so I'll do that next time, or in between. Yeah, check out the mods, Angela and Nick. They they help keep you entertained while I'm sitting here in complete silence, and they could both use your views. Nick needs to do some more stuff. Thank you, Cat's Art Pics. It's definitely getting there. It's not perfect yet, but it's getting there. Check out the MeWe and Facebook groups and the challenge that is still up. We've got one submission so far, and it's a pretty good one. It's a flower made out of leather. I can't think of who submitted it offhand, but it came out really good. I'm glad they took up the challenge. Yeah. So I think that's going to be about it for today. And I'll see you next time. Somewhere around here there's a button. Thank you, Leisha. I think it's gonna, like Nick said, when the red and the black go on, it's gonna come out really good. So, okay, thank you for watching. If you're re-watching this later, thank you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.